We decide, not your doctor, not your hospital, but we, the legislator, gets to decide when you get injected. And I would encourage everybody in Maine to go read the law, because the legislators lie. It does not say that. It says they can, without a court order, take you into custody and prescribe care.
What town do you live in?
Washington.
And your name?
John Stewart.
J-O-H-N?
S-T-E-W-A-R-T.
Hi, Mr. Stewart. What got you folks into the hoodoo? I mean, did this all start sort of virally, if you'll excuse the phrase, or is this part of a more organized?
No, you know, it really started with me from just watching the news, watching the coverage that you all give on H1N1. The fact that the CDC has told our states to quit counting cases, to quit testing. The fact that if the symptoms look just like the flu and we're not counting, we're not actually testing for H1N1, and we all have the flu, are they going to prescribe vaccinations for a virus that I may or may not even get, that may or may not even be dangerous? It's ridiculous. The science is not working. We don't know what's in the ingredients. The state and the emergency order removes the responsibility from providers of the vaccines. They are no longer held liable if anything happens to me. At what point does the state determine that they can not only inject me, but if anything happens to me, we're all safe. You have no recourse.
And you said a moment ago that the legislators are lying.
Absolutely.
So when they say that the law cannot force you to have a vaccination unless there's you personally present an extreme emergency, that's not true?
They say, the law says clearly that they can take you into custody and hold you for 48 hours and prescribe care without a court order. To prescribe care means anything. How about electric shock, amputation, vaccination? It doesn't prescribe care. I mean, there has to be some clarity there. What care can they prescribe? Can they prescribe a vaccination? Can they prescribe an antibiotic?
Are you actually afraid that this is going to happen, that there's going to be widespread forcing of people to be vaccinated?
The president declared a national emergency. The governor declared an emergency. Pennsylvania has declared emergencies. Massachusetts passed a law requiring mandatory vaccinations. New York tried to mandatorily vaccinate their healthcare workers. I think we have plenty of ample evidence that, yes, it could happen. If they decide, right now, there was an argument in the room about the fact that you can opt out of vaccinations in schools. When you take your child to school, they do not hand you a form that says you can opt out. They tell you that your child must be vaccinated. That's not informed consent. I have informed consent at the hospital. I can say, I don't want your treatment. As a matter of fact, I can opt to not be resuscitated. But those 6 senators and representatives feel it's the government's right to inject me against my will if they deem it to be an emergency. And again, the question that Representative Thomas continued to ask, if I've been vaccinated and you haven't, you're no threat to me. I've been vaccinated. So if people want to go get vaccinated, by all means, go.
Are you a person who is generally opposed to vaccinations to begin with?
I've been vaccinated from everything I can imagine in the Navy, including typhoid. I've never had a flu vaccine. I was incredibly sick this spring. Am I now immune? Do I need a vaccine? If they're not counting cases, how do we know? That's the important thing for Mainers to remember too. The governor declares a national emergency. If they're not counting cases and testing for H1N1, how do you know when the emergency is over? So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, John.